Fellow attorneys, I think one of the things that really holds us back as attorneys in our growth in law firms and then our growth also in our revenues and our net worth is that we don't like problems, okay? We're actually trying to solve problems instead of create problems. That's what we're hired for. Oh, and by the way, my name is Marco Brown. I own Brown Family Law in Salt Lake City. So we're hired to solve problems. I'm a divorce attorney. I'm not hired to agitate. I'm hired to help people get through their divorce and minimize the acrimony and the problems between my client and my client's soon-to-be ex, and then the kids, right, to help the kids through things. So I'm really here not to create problems, but to solve them. And the vast, vast majority of attorneys are hired to do the exact same thing. I mean, contract attorneys, your job is to draft good contracts and not create problems in contracts, right? You don't want to like sneak hand grenades into a contract. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're in the job of minimizing problems and making problems smaller. And that works great for attorneying, right? When we're lawyering, that's absolutely fantastic. That's what we're paid to do. The problem comes in the sense that doesn't work well when we're actually trying to expand our business and grow our revenues and grow our net worth. Because when we do that, we want bigger problems. We want more problems, actually. So we have this kind of dichotomy, this tension between what we do in our work, which is to minimize problems and to maybe excise them completely. And then on the other hand, when we market and when we do all these things, we want to create new problems. We want to create bigger problems. So I think a lot of attorneys just never create the bigger problems. And I'm going to explain why we want to create bigger problems in a second. But attorneys just never do that. They just minimize problems. Most of the time, and I've heard this story 1,000 times when I talk to attorneys. I was a solo, and then I hired an associate, maybe 2, maybe 3. Did that for a few years, and it was just there were too many problems. It was just too much. I had to oversee them. I had to worry about their hours. I had to pay them. I had to do HR. I had to do all of these things. So I went back to being a solo, okay? I've heard that song sung 1,000 times when I speak to attorneys. And if you really just want to be a solo, then cool, that's fine. But you're going to limit your revenues, and you're going to limit your growth as well doing that. But the reason they do that, the reason attorneys do that is because they want to minimize the problems. They want to take away those problems of overseeing people and payroll and HR and so on and so forth. And they want smaller problems and they want fewer problems. Okay. The only way we as attorneys grow and the only way we really increase our revenues and really increase our net worth as people, as law firm owners, is to create larger problems. Okay, so for example, the example I just gave you about hiring some associates. Maybe they hired 1 associate or 2 associates, and then they had all these issues and didn't want to deal with the issues anymore, so they got rid of the associate to minimize problems. Okay, those problems weren't the problem. The problems were that you had an associate or 2. The problem is that you only had 1 or 2 associates. If you had 10 associates, okay, you're going to create a much bigger set of problems, but you're also going to have a lot of revenue to deal with those problems, and you're going to have manpower to deal with those problems. At that point, you got 10, you just hire somebody to oversee the attorneys and deal with your problems, deal with the problems, so you don't actually have to do that, and you can go focus on other things, okay? So that's what I mean. You don't want like 1 or 2 problems. You want 10 problems, okay? Because when you have 10 problems like that, they're much bigger problems and you have more money to deal with them, okay? And that's growth. That's when your revenues grow rapidly. That's when your net worth grows rapidly if you're doing things correctly and you have profit, coming off of your business. But it's a lot easier to have a lot of profit if you have a lot of people around and they're billing hours and you got these much bigger problems, okay? So that's one example of this. And I'm going to tell you that you should actually be courting problems. So you should be creating problems in your law firm because, again, this is how you grow. So for example, I'll give you an example from me and what I'm doing right now. So I'm in Salt Lake City, and there are approximately 12,000 barred attorneys in Salt Lake. I look at each one of those attorneys as a colleague, and I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money actually trying to make my colleagues' lives better. And I also see every colleague as a potential referral source. So I walk and chew gum at the same time, okay? I think all of us do this as attorneys. But I see them all as a referral source. So my goal is to have every attorney in the state of Utah know my name, know my face, and never be able to forget it, okay? So I'm creating a goal. And the way I obtain that goal is I want to create a problem, like a much bigger problem than I have right now, so I can obtain that goal. So my problem right now is that only a relatively limited number of attorneys actually know my name and my face, right? The problem I've decided to create is that everybody is going to know my name and my face, but they're going to see it so often and so pervasively and so ubiquitously that they're going to get tired of it, right? That's the problem I'm going to create in order to obtain the goal that I have set, okay? So that problem, people being tired of seeing my face, that's going to create derivative problems, right, that I'm going to have to deal with. But at that point, I will have obtained my goal, and then there are 12,000 attorneys that know my name and my face and what I do, and they can all refer to me. And I guarantee if that happens, our revenues are going to go up, and correspondingly, my net worth is going to go up, and the net worth of my team is going to go up, right? And that's the goal. So I want to create those problems. So what you should be doing is asking yourself, what problems can I create? What bigger problems can I have? You know, maybe you're looking at your payroll and you think, oh my goodness, I'm paying $10,000 a month in payroll. That's a huge problem. It's not a huge problem. You want to pay out $100,000 a month in payroll, okay? Because when you pay out $100,000 a month in payroll, that means you got some juice, right? You got a lot of revenue coming in, and you got a lot of big problems, but you got a lot of money sloshing around, which is going to increase your net worth, and it's going to help your team and increase the money flow, and increase the number of people that you are serving, so on and so forth. So you want to ask yourself, like, how can I create bigger problems so I can grow as a law firm and I can grow my net worth as well? Just go through, ask yourself that question. Literally ask yourself that question. What problem can I create? What big problem can I create? Or what problem do I have right now that I can blow up? Okay? That's how you grow. Those are the things that you need to do if you really want to expand. Okay, hopefully this was helpful for you. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I know it's counterintuitive, but this is how it works. I guarantee you this is going to work for you. So if you need help with this, or you want to run any ideas by me, I'm here. I make these videos. I don't make money on this stuff. I'm just here to help my colleagues, other attorneys, live better lives and build better law firms. So if you ever need anything, please feel free to reach out to me, message me on whatever social you're seeing this on, send me an email, give me a call at the office, 801-685-9999, and I'm happy to help you however I can. Again, Marco Brown, and we'll talk to you later.